Hi everyone, Mike here with Bikes by Mike for another cycling related video. I'm back in the garage to talk about Bike Maintenance 101, specifically how to check your chain for wear and when to replace your chain. Okay, let's get to it. So in my opinion, this is the one bike maintenance task that every cyclist needs to do themselves. Why? Because it's so much cheaper to replace a worn chain than to replace all the drivetrain components that a worn chain will destroy. Let me use Dura-Ace components as an example. Replacing your chain before it has more than 0.5% of wear should only cost about $80, the price of a new Dura-Ace 11-speed chain. If you wait to replace a chain that has more than 0.5% of wear, but less than 0.75%, you're entering dangerous territory. Here you'll likely spend $80 for a new chain, plus $380 for a new Dura-Ace cassette, for a combined cost of $460. If you totally neglect your chain and only replace it when it has more than 0.75% of wear, all bets are off. You're going to have to fork over a ton of money for new drivetrain components. In the worst case scenario, you're looking at $80 for a new chain, plus $380 for a new cassette, plus $370 for a Dura-Ace outer chainring, plus $57 for inner chainring, and lastly, $54 for a set of Dura-Ace jockey wheels. All for a grand total of $941, and that does not include the cost of labor if you're not doing it yourself. Now it's true that even if you replace your chain well before it's heavily worn, your other components are still going to wear out. But if you do replace your chain regularly, you can easily get 3 to 4 times the life out of the other drivetrain components. Plus, your drivetrain component is just going to run a whole lot better, smoother. So before I show you how to measure your chain for stretch, let's talk about what is actually happening when a chain wears out or when it stretches. So a chain that is stretched isn't physically stretching. What is happening is that the pitch or the length of each link of the chain is increasing. And this is caused by metal wearing out, primarily between the bushings and the pins of the chain. Let's take a close-up at a chain to see what's actually going on here. A chain is made up of 4 parts. The inner and outer links or plates, the bushings, the pins, and the rollers. A chain can wear or stretch by metal wearing off any of these parts, but typically is caused by metal wearing off the chain pins and bushings. If you look at any new chain, the distance between the adjacent pins will be exactly 1/2 inch. And the distance between adjacent links will be exactly 1 inch. So a new chain will measure exactly 12 inches from center to center of pins. Most chain manufacturers will recommend that you replace 10-speed and below chains at 0.75% of wear, and 11 and 12-speed chains when they reach 0.5% of wear. And since most of us are riding 11 or 12 speeds these days, you want to replace the chain when it is 0.5% of wear, which is the same as 1/16 of an inch. So one way to tell if your chain needs replacing is to grab a straight ruler and measure pin to pin. If it measures exactly 12 inches, pin to pin, then your chain is fine. But an easier way to do it is to buy a specific chain checker tool, like this one from Park Tools, which measures 0.5% of wear on one side and 0.75% of wear on the other side. It's a go, no-go tool. So all you do is drop the tool onto the chain, and if it fits between the links, you need to replace the chain. It's that easy. But since chains rarely wear out evenly, make sure to measure the stretch along 3 or 4 different sections of chain, just to make sure you get a proper measurement. So there's 2 other ways that you can check your chain for wear, not using any specialty tools, but it's not quite as reliable. One way is to apply the rear brake and put pressure on your front pedal so you have some torque on the chain, and to see if there's any movement of the chain on the cassette. Another way is to try to pull a chain link away from the front chain ring. And if you can actually do this, pull it away from the teeth of the front chain ring, then it's a good indication that your chain is worn and needs replacing. The one tip I'll provide is that even though the guide is that for 11 and 12-speed chains that you replace the chain when it has 0.5% of wear. I found that sometimes it needs replacing before that. So on my 11-speed Dura-Ace road bike, I found that it just wasn't performing as well, as smoothly when it had less than 0.5% of wear. So definitely you don't want to go beyond 0.5% of wear for 11 and 12-speed chains. So that's all I gotta say about how to check your chain for wear and when to replace it. I hope some of this has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please pass them along. That's all I got for today, folks. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please subscribe, as it allows me to produce more content for all of you. See you next time. Happy rolling.